Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Gruber Wired. I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and today we have special guest Chuck with us from Precision Industrial Finishing.
That's perfection.
Perfection.
Well, we got
Pardon
it.
me.
Thank you very much for inviting me in, gentlemen.
I'm glad you're here on this hot Arizona day.
It is warm, right?
It's supposed to be 115 today, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
We
Yeah.
get a few of those every year. It's par for the course. We understand it. We know how to deal with it, but man, when people visit this time of year, I just scratch my head because I'm like, this is not the best foot forward, you know? We're not, you're not built for this yet.
No.
And hikers getting rescued off a camelback and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
going out in Michigan in middle of a blizzard.
Well, you're from New York, right? Originally, upstate New York, so you probably had some temperature variations compared to here.
I grew up shoveling snow many times, and I was the oldest boy, so that was the first knock at the door after a blizzard to dig out the path to the garage.
There you go.
Fun.
Builds
So,
character, right?
Yeah, amen. Work ethic.
There
so
you go.
you grew up there, and then you moved down here.
My
Yes.
mic is dead.
My parents were IBMers, and my parents got an opportunity to move from upstate New York, Kingston, Poughkeepsie area, right along the beautiful Hudson River Valley, and we moved to Tucson in '78. I was just getting into middle
We
school.
seeing
If
the
that gives
notes,
an idea of my age there. And
Okay.
we
Yep.
went to high school, middle school in Tucson.
And we just having
There
some
we go.
Am I
sorry
on
about
now?
that, guys. Having a few
All right.
technical difficulties.
How's that?
All
Are
right,
we
great.
good?
It always happens.
And
Good to go.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, start over.
Hey
right?
everybody, welcome back to another edition of Gruber Wired. It's too late now. Huh?
It's going live. That's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
it's
So you guys
we
made your way to
we play with live rounds here. So.
Yeah, amen.
So you made your way to Tucson,
Yep.
and is that where you still currently live? Did you move up here to Phoenix?
So
or-
I live in both spots because the two locations we have, the original headquarters in Tucson that was opened in '92, and then we moved to Phoenix, South Phoenix. We had an original location about 8 years ago. Currently, about 5 years ago, we moved to a much larger location in Chandler. So we have a location in Tucson and here, and I live in both cities to support both those depending on where we're at. Also travel a lot. We have customers all over the country now, so I get to travel a lot. Real fun part of my job, you know, like
Sure.
a podcast with you gentlemen, to also get to see all the customers across the country.
It has its perks, right?
That was one of them.
There you go. Well, I know powder coating is a huge part of our business, especially when we're dealing with our racks and our shelving and all the stuff, right? All the things. So having somebody here who's an expert in that arena is very helpful for us, especially because I'm not saying we hear it now, but we used to hear a lot. Let's at the powder coaters, which meant it was going to be a while before we saw a shipment come in. And that wasn't you. That wasn't him. That was.
I hope we've helped resolve
I'm
a
sure
lot of that.
You have definitely helped. You're doing the powder coating for.
for one of our projects.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's great. These are cable manders that we
Yep.
have powder coated directly from you guys.
Yep.
I'll tell you, it's been great. The finishes come back just fantastic.
Well, great.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we've even helped with providing the finished packaging as well, which I
That's
think is
correct.
a solution for you guys. That's be able to take it right off the shelf now and ship it directly to your customer, which hopefully saves some more time and
It does.
is more efficient cost-wise as well.
Yeah, and
So,
that was a great suggestion from you guys. Sometimes you got to think outside the box.
Correct.
And so having that ability to adjust and give us those options is just really great.
well, that's great.
We
Right.
appreciate that.
I'm glad you guys were able to, open to that, and it's something we do for a lot of customers. So we've had a lot of practice at it, and we do pretty good at it, I think.
Yeah. Now you say customers. What is your customer? What's the demographics like? I mean, is it just everyone under the sun? Is it a special, industry? Where do you fit in that marketplace?
So we do a lot of different. We talk about finishing. So we do some chemical plating, which would be anodizing, chromate conversion coating, Allodyne, there's a few names for that. Passivation, which is a pretreatment for stainless. Painting, so anything that comes out of a gun liquid-wise, we can pretty much do. I could go down we could spend an hour talking about that. And then powder coating, which is where I first started, and I got into that just out of my own basic need because I was a car and motorcycle enthusiast and was always restoring stuff and taking them to a local place in Tucson that was very busy and was the only spot, so I ended up starting doing it myself.
So for computer products, or for the shelving and all that, what does powder coating do besides make it look nice?
Yeah,
it makes it look great, but
there's definitely the aesthetic quality of the finish, but you're getting a very durable finish that you can count on for many years. Powder is about 2.5 times harder than a conventional liquid paint, which was, 40, 50 years ago was the standard for metal products to be painted. Now powder is the standard for finished metal products, especially on the commercial side. But you get about 2.5 times the durability. Part comes right off the line, basically out of the oven. The process, for those of you that aren't aware, gets cleaned through a chemical pretreatment. Many times, depending on the design of the part, we have to pre-bake the part. When it cools back down, then we spray powder electrostatically to the part. And then it's actually dry powder electrostatically applied. And then it goes in an oven between 375 and 400 degrees. And generally it's 10 minutes at part temperature. That means that part has to be actually elevated to whatever the cure temperature is at 375, 380, 400 for that period of time. So different substrates, different thicknesses of material will affect that cure time. Comes out, it's inspected, it's ready to be wrapped and put right in the box. Unlike liquid paint, you might have to wait, especially if it's very humid out. Paint dries at different speeds,
right.
So that slows down the whole process, sometimes by a day or more.
Right. So
we got some questions up there. Highlanders, your guest powder coating static electric?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Is your guest powder coating static electric?
So yes, so it is a electrostatic process to apply. Thank you for the question too. To apply the material, but it does require. So it's basically a dry powder gets coated and sprayed on the part, and then from there it goes in the oven. Before it goes in the oven, you could always just wipe off or blow off that part if you see an imperfection. So we train our operators as they're spraying to actually look for those imperfections as well. But once it goes in the oven and comes out, you've got a pretty hard, durable surface that's difficult to remove.
That's great.
An EV fan says, how much time does it add to producing products?
So our standard lead time is 5 working days. We have many customers that call us and say, hey, I have to have product tomorrow. I've got a customer that needs their product right away. So we also have an expedite process. One of the things that Perfection really tries to do is work with our customers to resolve their problems. So we look at high quality, excellent customer service, and the best communication in the industry to make sure that we're getting that delivery to the customer when they need it.
Great.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, exactly. I have a question, though, because this pertains to our particular type of products. So when we powder coat the products, we get them back to our customer takes, and 99% of our products are going into a controlled environment. Mm-hmm. Okay? So environmentally speaking, in regards to the powder coating, what should they expect? I mean, you said there's some longevity there, but technically speaking, if they're in a room that's consistent environment for a long extended period of time, when do you start to see some of that possibly break down?
If it's in a controlled environment, you should get years, 10, 15, 20 years out of a product that's been properly powder coated. We also do environmental testing, so we have our own in-house salt spray cabinet that we do what's called escalated testing, where it moves the testing along much quicker with a salt fog cabinet. It's part of what we have to do for the military part of our business and aerospace part of our business. We also do that on some of our architectural products we do for the powder coating side.
Awesome. So you brought in you sent some pictures in.
I better put the glasses on.
So yeah, right.
More questions
I know,
here
I'm
too.
Similarly afflicted.
Major Tom, what are the most common powder coating mistakes?
Poor pretreatment. We had a discussion before we went on air about potentially, what could be some failures. If the part, and it doesn't matter what type of finishing you're doing, painting, powder coating, plating, if the part is not properly cleaned and prepared, it will fail.
Okay.
So that's, I can hands down.
Great. And Highlander was asking, just as a side note, I built one of those ovens for Copeland compressors in Sydney, Ohio, and our great, until they increased production, we had to add 50 feet to the oven.
Yeah, that sounds like it was probably an automated line.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Great. So let's
Lots
go through
going
some
on.
pictures.
Sure. So we've got a
Let's
few
go to
items that we've powder coated as well. So I brought a few pictures. Some of our customers don't like to share product photos just because of intellectual property rights.
Sure.
So I brought in a couple pictures, like picture 1 and 2 are, there's a residential. So at our Tucson facility, we do, again, that's where I started doing powder coating. We do a lot of wrought iron for other commercial companies that produce those products. This is a customer we've had for probably 30 years almost. And they continue to evolve and make new designs. And it was funny, when we first started, everybody had the vertical pickets with a quail or a saguaro cactus. Now you're seeing some real artists come along and really make beautiful pieces like this one.
Sure.
And then the second picture, much heavier, modern style door. I think that door is 1.5 inches thick, and I believe it's 5 by 10 to give you the scale.
Wow.
We can do items in Tucson up to 30 foot long, and here in Chandler we have a 12 by 12 by 25 foot oven, and that's your limiting factor in powder, how big you can cure the part.
Right.
Very cool. Can I intervene for 1 second?
Sure.
The very last picture, Cass, we just had Highlander comment up there. Can we get his contact information so we can spread it to the other people? So really quick, I'm going to show your contact information.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
That way we can get out there. We'll show it at the end of the show too. But here we go.
And that's our headquarters in Tucson. We also have a location in Chandler, which is a suburb of Phoenix, which is where we service the Gruber products out of. And we can share that maybe at the end too as well.
Yeah,
Sure.
We'll put this back up. But there you go for right now, Highlander. Feel free to take those numbers, give them a call.
There you go.
Thank you for that, and thanks for asking.
So yeah, a quick question on those doors. What about this environment where we're hitting 116 degree temperatures, 118? How do those finishes, hold up in that type of heat?
So cold and heat don't really affect it too much.
Okay.
UV is a huge concern for finishes, no matter whether it's an architectural, enamel-based house paint you're spraying on your home, or metal objects that we're painting and putting, whether it be patio furniture, pool railing, or doors, or anything else that's outside. The nice thing is we as applicators have worked with the manufacturers of the product. So the same people that make house paints that are, PPGs, the Sherwin-Williams, and many others of the world also make powder coating products.
Okay.
So what they've done over the years, they've come out with what's called super durable products. They're a urethane-based product that is... when I say durable, it doesn't mean it's harder to the finish. It means that it's more resistant to UV rays. So it's funny. I always laugh at this test, but they call it South Florida sun ray. I could understand if it was a humidity test,
Right.
but I would pick Southern Arizona any
Right.
day over that test.
Right.
We do what's called light fastness tests ourselves in-house. So we test some of those products along with our anodized, because we don't want our anodized to fade. So we do both in a cabinet, and we do real life, hanging a panel on a south-facing fence, laser engrave the date on it, and see how long it takes before it loses the gloss level, which we can measure as well. We have the testing equipment to measure that.
Arizona gets dissed all the time.
Oh, I get it.
I know.
Well,
We don't rate sometimes. All right, so next picture. So we're going to go to number 3.
So number 3, so now we're moving into some of the military and defense work we do. So that is a Mack defense. So the Mack truck with the everybody's famous favorite bulldog with the big collar.
Yeah.
So we actually do that cab assembly for what's called MTT, which is medium tactical truck. you'll see when you see miles of the green and tan vehicles on the back of trains, that's called chemical agent resistant coating. That means if it gets any type of something that's icky or nasty to us humans, it can be decontaminated and continue to use. In the past, they would basically light it on fire and let it burn to the ground, which wastes a lot of our taxpayer dollars. So this product has come out, which we apply. Again, we don't make the products, we apply them. We always say it's like BASF. We don't, we just make everything better. So the next picture is a AM General program that we also work on. Picture number 4. That's also all the roll bar parts and the benches in the back. Those are all items that we also do. Very, very popular outfit for the Humvee platform. It puts a 9-man squad in a Humvee. So that's a popular item we've done many over the years. Picture number 5 is actually the largest program we're currently working on, and that's payload transport recovery. We actually in Chandler have a booth that is large enough to put that semi-trailer in. It's 20 by 20 by 60 feet long, and we see that trailer twice, once as a raw unit and once as a completed finish unit. So we do about 1,400 SKU numbers on that white trailer, along with the blue cab. We paint that as well. And again, these parts come to us in components, and we paint them, and then the customer puts them all back together.
They assemble them together.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Gotcha. Wow.
And that's used by the Air Force.
A few more comments coming up here. Janie says, "Hi team, perfection is perfect for us."
Oh, great. There you go.
There we go. So, you know what else we got there? We need our background powder coated.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I think that looks pretty good. It's a titanium.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then Highlander chimed back in there. Do you do any military work with Sandy Monroe or collaborating in any way?
I don't know who Sandy Monroe is. I'm not familiar, but would love to. We're always open to talk to new customers and see how we can help them and support their needs.
There you go.
Especially for the warfighter, that's a big part of our business. We feel we're, that's one of the big things we have up in our shops is, this is your customer. It's not the defense industry. It's not the aerospace industry. It's those folks that fly in those planes, that ride in those Humvees, and we're helping protect them. And that's what's really important at the end of the day, that they come home. Everybody knows somebody, brother, sister, mother, son, daughter, that's aunt, uncle, grandfather, that's, been associated with the military in some way.
Right.
So we think that's a huge part. We're really proud of that.
Great mission.
We're really proud of what we do with the defense and aerospace
Very
industry.
cool.
So, maybe if we go to, so picture 6 goes back into, I think, some powders. Oh, so there's some liquid parts in one of our that big booth we were talking about. Those are in 2 different stages. You can see the darker one is actually the dark green that you saw on that Humvee, and the white parts are actually some of those same parts from that 9-man kit that are in the primer stage. That is actually a spray bake booth, that big booth we talked about.
Okay.
We can not only spray in that booth, but we can bake parts in it as well. We can split it into 2 30-foot booths, so we can be painting on one side or spraying on one side and then baking on the other.
Wow.
So in Chandler alone, we have 4 booths, not as big. This is our largest, but we have 4 booths so that we can continue and produce and have great throughput for our customers to meet their really expedited requirements for delivery.
Nice.
Picture 7. So there's some other components, again, that are in that. You see the blue. That's the blue from that cab. And the other parts are actually the different primer. You saw some white primer. There's a yellow primer. That's the base primer for that program. The white's the base primer for the other program. So we do a lot of military specification coatings, very stringent flow down from the government, from including buying the materials we apply have to come off a list that those manufacturers get approved to that specification that we have to order from. We had a little discussion before this talking about how the flow down is for all this kind of work. And the nice thing is we take all that quality process and information and all that, and we apply that across the board, whether we're doing military and aerospace work or we're painting commercial metal products like we do for you guys. So you get that same level of quality throughout our both our our locations and are company wide. We don't separate. We have a quality system and we follow that throughout.
Ooh, I like
Awesome,
that.
yeah.
I really do like that. And I assume that you'll take on the smallest of projects to the largest of projects.
Yeah, so we do have a minimum lot charge, and that covers our setup and cleanups. I'm partial to the hot rod guys, the motorcycle guys. That's where I started. So it's really hard
Cass
for
over here is like, she's a motorcycle gal, right?
I should say guys and gals, sorry. My wife rides as well. But so that's where I started. So if you ever come to the shop, just ask for an FOC. That means Friends of Chuck. So, the walk-ins, that's many times what they get initials of FOC in it because they don't have POs. So they put FOC in there. So everybody, it's a joke. It's been a running joke for over 30 years. So, but yeah, and we do huge contracts. We're in multi-year contracts with both commercial and military aerospace customers. So.
Very cool. A few more comments coming along here. Highlander, are you doing any slightly I can't say that word.
Rubberized coating.
Thank you. He has a good reason for asking.
So we have in the past, I'm sure you're familiar with Line-X or Bedliner, or there's a gazillion other names those are under. So that's a rubberized urethane coating. We don't currently do it. It's tough to do it for a commercial market unless you're doing it very repetitively. Excuse me. We did it for spall and shrapnel protection on, you could look up, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of the program. Basically, it looks like a Toyota Tacoma, which is very common in the Middle East. You look at any pictures in movies, there's been four-door Toyota Tacomas, white, a gazillion of them in an intersection in wherever.
Yeah.
And so we sprayed those vehicles with spall protection so that if the warfighter, State Department, whoever else drove over an IED, it would stop that from
shrapnel.
I mean, it controls it at least. So that's the extent. But there are some soft touch products and other things that are available out there as well.
And then Gruber Motor Company, which is Pete Gruber, the owner of the company, says, fascinating subject. Thanks for coming out and enlightening our audience. So,
well, great. I really appreciate you guys and Pete for, we'll have to meet sometime. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys inviting me and letting me share our story a little bit too.
Yeah, it's fun.
So.
Highlander, awesome guest, very informative. And Janie said, noted, FOC on our next PO. So you're going to see that come across. I guarantee.
Do we have an Do we have an FOP code for Gruber?
Yeah.
Friends of Pete.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Right.
And then Cassie Swift from Facebook says, how thin is the coating?
So it depends on which process. So we have many different processes. For powder coating, you're looking 2 to 3.5 thousandths thick for a standard one coat powder coat process. And I'm specific about that because going back to the question about durability and heat and cold, we also do processes where they might be in a marine environment or a wet environment where we'll do after it's pre-treated properly, we'll do either an epoxy or a zinc-rich primer and followed by that super durable urethane top coat. So you get great corrosion protection on top of great UV stability as well.
Nice.
Good deal.
Yeah, we have some more pictures, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah, I think
I like looking at what you're doing there.
Picture number 8. Well, gives you a little bit inside of some of our facilities.
Sure.
So that's one of our smaller powder booths. So those are, I believe they're like solar lights.
Okay.
Roof-mounted jacks right there. That's a customer been with us for a very long time. We do bronze, white, and black for him. So that's the operators in the booth spraying right there. And again, there's a small oven to the left in the picture. And I think the next picture, picture 8, shows us that big 12 by 12 oven on picture number 9. So that shows you another shot of the that's the powder room here in Chandler. That's a Wisconsin oven. I'll give them a plug there. That's they're the Cadillacs of the industry. We have some very difficult products that have multiple different dimensions, thicknesses, and geometries. where in the semiconductor industry you have to keep the color rating to 1 LAB, which is a reading of color. Most places are 3 to 4. So we have probes in that oven where we can measure the temperature on the thickest and thinnest metals to make sure that we're going to meet that. It's still a guess sometimes, educated guess at best. Then we come out, we do all those color readings and gloss readings and make sure we're within that range, and then we lock in that process. And that could be fixtured in some very odd way to make sure that that part meets that requirement for that customer.
Wow.
Now that process is locked, so it's always repeatable time after time.
Wow, I gotta commend you on something really quick. I don't know if anybody notices this picture. Look how clean that facility is.
Thank you.
I'm like, wow. I saw that and I'm like, wow. For everything you're dealing with, that is extremely clean.
You're spraying dust. I mean, that's what powder is. It's basically the way powder is made is it's all the ingredients are put in. It's put in through an extruder and it comes out in sheets. It's chunked up and ground to whatever size particle makes it flow out smooth or textured or whatever that is. So you're basically spraying dust. So we really pride ourselves on cleanliness. Both facilities have full-time janitors. They run around all day cleaning, sweeping. We sandblast items, not the Gruber items, but there's some items that are sandblasted. That's also another dirty process. Inevitably, there will be some sand dust that comes inside the facility. That's cleaned up immediately. We love we're really proud of our facility, and our team is proud, and that's really what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've started the company many years ago, but the reason it's grown to almost 100 employees and servicing the caliber of customers like Gruber that we do is really the team. It's we give them a direction, but they're the executors, so it's amazing, and I see that here with your team as well.
Oh, thank you. And your team's educated. So we were talking before the show. You've got some
not
really...
me. Well, when it comes to operations, finance and quality, we've got some. One's actually has got a master's going for her PhD. We've got another one in the master's program, and we support that. That's part of, I think, personal growth in our company, and our team is amazing. And as we get stronger and more long in the teeth, it enables us, more financially stable and continue to grow. That gives us an ability to give back more and more to our teams, which even attracts higher caliber. But our big thing is we've promoted from within. One of my PMs in Tucson, Will, has been with me since 93 or 4, so I mean, he's a year or two short of. I had a guy retire that was with me basically a month after I started in the official space, commercial space after I left my garage. So it's amazing the loyalty and the longevity we have in our team. I love it. That's what makes me the proudest is the story of our people.
Sure. That's good stuff.
So, and they're proud of the facility too, as you can see.
Yeah, I just noticed that and went, wow.
So the next few pictures, 10, 11, 12, are pictures of plated objects. So that's, we talked about, that's clear anodized part. I used to ask when I first started, what is that part for? I don't know, about 25 years ago I stopped asking.
Right.
Because sometimes they say, we can't tell you.
Yeah.
Other times they tell you and it's like, okay.
Looks like a door for something.
Yeah, well,
like
that part's probably
some
this big,
hinges
smaller
there,
than a
so-
cell phone.
It's like a
I'm
little
pretty sure.
hinge on there. Yeah.
You never know. So that's clear anodized. An anodized is basically, you're basically promoting an oxide. You're building an oxide on the surface of the aluminum so it won't further corrode. That's clear chem film. So that is a process that will take aluminum. It can be used as a pre-treatment to paint or powder coat over, or a standalone item. If you've ever been into an old military aircraft and it has like a gold look, many people think it's anodized. It's actually a chromate conversion coating. This is a new environmentally friendly version of it that the government is really trying to push through all their old programs and all their legacy stuff to where now it's called trivalent. And hex is very dangerous to us as human beings. And the environment, so they're making a very large push to make everything into the trivalent chrome, which that is. And I don't know what that is either, but, and then number 7, so there's the old hexavalent chrome.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look beautiful though?
It does.
And the corrosion resistance on that is 3x of what the trivalent is. But, then again, it's chrome. So it's not like the old chrome platers where you went to get your bumper re-chromed. Much less hazardous, but that is on the EPA list, target list, to reduce. So
Sure.
we're, the government is working, the ARL, Army Research Labs, are working very diligently to reduce the usage of that in all their programs.
Wow. Highlander says, you know what? It's so damn hot down there in Phoenix. Why do you even need those ovens?
Yeah.
It's not a lie.
It's 400's a lot different than 115. The funny part though is in the plants, you can't have a ton of air movement because we're spraying dust.
Oh, yeah.
You can't have that, creates contamination and everything else. So, we have what we call cool spots where we try to get the operators to work or go cool down. We supply electrolytes and water, pallets of water from Costco or wherever gets shipped in to make sure our team stays cool and hydrated. Because of that fact, it's with the ovens running, that room averages about 90 degrees, 95 degrees. That with the big ovens that they're spraying in as well. But they also have air supplied helmets that cool them down somewhat too. But
Nice.
Staying hydrated posters everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
picture 13 is kind of a repeat, but 14 and 15 are actually pictures of an operator pulling parts out of one of the plating tanks, and 15 is them racking the parts. So that's black anodized there. So good old Roberto there has been with me about 8 years. If you saw him, you thought he was 18 still, but that young gentleman has 5 children and is like 38 years old.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's working in the chem room or not, but it's preserved. No, another one of our great superstars. So we're super proud of again the team. So.
That's very cool.
That's kind of the pictures I have for now. I really, I'm going to try to get some Gruber pictures tomorrow with parts in process, and maybe you can add them to this as well.
Yeah, we can do some
possible.
shorts,
That'd
get some
be
stuff
great.
out there. Cash, you want to pull up their logo again with their information for the folks to take a look at? Wow, these half-hour sessions go by fast.
Goes extremely
You don't
fast.
realize it till you get in here and start talking.
You told me how fast it was. And if I can, I don't know if we can add that to the chat or not, but our Chandler address is 6677 West Fry Road, and that's in Chandler, Arizona. And my email, in case anybody needs to send me an email with a question, if can I share that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is here, like you're asking for, is Chuck CHUCK at PIF-AZ.com.
Yeah, and I'll have to remember. FOC.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's tough to push commercial account stuff through just because of scheduling and commitments. But you guys ever have anything personal you want done, come see me. That includes you over there, Cassie.
Right on.
See? There, she got a thumbs up going there.
Well, we appreciate everybody being here today.
Yeah, that's great.
Just a reminder, like, subscribe, and share this podcast. We are here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Arizona time, and we thank you for being here today. For now, I'm Mark Beach.
John Dotson and
Charles Zink, call me Chuck. Thank you.